Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be completing the video that I made earlier about things I wish I knew as a teenager. And if you remember, I mentioned 6 areas of a teenager's life. And just for a recap, these are the areas: school, social life, your passions and potentials, emotions, spiritual life, and your health and your wellness. I already talked about school, your social life. I talked about your spiritual life and your health and your wellness. And today we'll be talking about the passions and potentials and your emotions. So if that sounds fun, let's get right into it. Teenagers have so much interest in so many things, and sometimes it's difficult to actually pinpoint one single thing that you have interest in. And a lot of things contributes to this interest: your exposure, your opportunities, and your unfair advantages. But these things contribute to whatever will come up to be your passions and your potentials later in life. In life, we need to fulfill all our potentials, and we need to also explore all our passions while living a purposeful life. Starting to explore these passions and fulfill these potentials is the best thing you can do to yourself as a teenager. Which brings us to lesson number 1, which is learn a skill and develop it. As a teenager, this is your time to learn something that actually interests you, something that you find interest and delight in, something that lights up your day, something that you are not forced to learn. It's even much better to have picked a skill that you want to learn before you become a teenager, so that your teenagers will be just for you to work on that skill and develop that skill. As a teenager, I really wish I knew this. And if you learn this now, this will go a long way to give you direction in whatever decision you make in life. Which brings us to lesson number 2 in the passion and potential aspect, which is study what you have a passion for. Yes, you need to study what you have a passion for, because while in school, you face so many challenges. And if not for the passion or the level of interest that you have in what you are studying, you won't want to pursue the course anymore. I've heard of stories of people who have quit university because they lost interest in the course, and meanwhile, those that even graduate in a course that they don't have interest in, they end up not using their certificate. So it's more or less a waste of time. So in order for you not to waste any much time, you need to study what you really have a passion for. That will give you so much joy and happiness, and you will not be weary or unmotivated on the journey. And lesson number 3 in this area of life is to follow your passion, because it leads to your purpose. Yes, a couple of months ago, I had this confusion that, okay, our passions, our potentials, and our purpose, which of them is important? And while studying, I discovered that your purpose is the most important thing out of these 3. And sometimes I must admit that it might be difficult for you to know the purpose of God for your life. One way that have worked for me in discovering God's purpose for my life is following my passions. My passions are my interests, these things I have interest in, and these things have a way of guiding you to what exactly God wants for you. You don't need to feel frustrated that your passion is not in line with your purpose. You just have to keep going steady on your passions, and definitely it will lead to your purpose. And just as a bonus point on this area of life, it's never too late to start early. Whatever you want to do, just figure out how the minutest thing you can do that edges you closer to that your dream, that your ambition. It sounds simple, but it's a bit difficult, I must say. And let's move on to the next area, which is emotions. Over the years, I've learned that most of the decisions that I've made emotionally, that is, are made while my emotions are in control, end up to be the most terrible decisions I've made that has led to so many mistakes, which I've learned from. So the first lesson in this area: making decisions by your emotions will not give you the best result in whatever you are doing. You need to make decisions based on facts, principles, and of course, the Spirit of God. Emotion should not be the singular metric you use to make decisions in your life. Whenever I hear the advice, follow your heart, I find it a bit odd, because follow your heart invariably or invariably means follow your emotions. How do you feel? Follow how you feel, which doesn't make sense. It's not an advice I will take, and it's not an advice I will give. You need to be emotionally aware about how you feel about certain situations. Then match your feelings with the principles and the facts that are surrounding those situations. And also, don't forget the place of the Spirit of God. Once you have done all that, it's important to seek God's face before making the final decision. And lesson number 2 in this area is to develop emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the awareness of your feelings, your emotions at a particular time or when facing particular situations in life, and also being aware of other people's emotions at particular times and particular situations in life. Having emotional intelligence will guide you on how to behave around people and how to act in such a way that your behavior is not detrimental to other people, and it will also make you aware of what you need to reject from people. And so the final lesson in this area, those emotions, when you feel for that girl or that guy, they are not real. Yes, they are not real. Because actually, to be honest, what we call love is not an emotion. Love is an action word. I'm not a relationship coach, but one thing I've learned so far in my life is that these emotions are not real. So being guided by them is just leading you astray. While watching the previous video back, I kind of saw a lesson that I missed out in the social life aspects, which pertains to family. Family is the most important relationship you can ever have in your life. Just have that in your mind, because it is very important. The way you treat your family is very important. No matter how they treat you, you need to have a place in your heart where you can easily forgive them and always have them in your corner. These people are the most important relationship you can ever ask, or you can ever ask for in your life. So that's basically all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not watched the first part of this video, I'll link it in the description or somewhere on the screen. And please do well to watch, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and expect more videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.